Before we jump into the episode, I want to talk to you about Drops and Collect by Soul Savvy. With Drops and Collect, you're able to stay ahead of the game. Using Drops, you can enter raffles and set alerts for any and all restocks, and it will help you never miss a release ever again. And after you cop some fresh kicks, use Collect to manage your collection. I'm still in the process of adding my kicks to Collect. But what's really cool about Collect is you can also make trades with other current users of Collect. And if you're a member, there's no fees. But if you aren't a member, don't worry about it. You just have to pay a flat rate of $8 per trade. Now, how do you get these apps? Just use the links in the description of this podcast. Download these apps and grow your collection by helping this podcast at the same time. That's right. Use the links in the description and start expanding your collection today. Hey Reggie, welcome to the podcast.
How's it going, man? Appreciate you having me.
No, man, had to have you on. It's weird. You followed me one day, and I was like, "Why is this guy with like 10,000 followers following me?"
Yeah, man. No, I get that. I get that often actually, and like I'm on my like explore page or on my reels
Mhm.
and stuff. So when I see anything like sneaker related that catches my eye, I'll scope it out, click on it. Cool. If the page is about sneakers and it looks like somebody that like would enjoy my content as well,
Mhm.
I hit 'em with a follow, and that's kind of actually how like the whole grind with the IG came about, and kind of building like a little community, kind of sneaker homies that I could chop it up with.
No, yeah, that's dope. I mean, I'm all about building community, but for people who aren't, familiar with you, how about you introduce yourself and where can people find you too?
Yeah. My name's Reggie. I go by Twogees on IG, TikTok, Twitter, but mainly I'm on IG. I'm doing a lot of
Mhm.
sneaker content. I'm building a little community, or some fellow sneakerheads that like to engage in conversation,
Mhm.
and kind of just my angle with it is I like to kind of have a conversation with sneakers, or tell a story, or try to see what I could add to it, because anyone could just kind of post like a cool picture of a shoe, or anyone could,
Mhm.
if you have a lot of money, everyone's buying the shoes they want. So I always kind of look at it as how I can come at it as in a different way.
No, yeah. I mean, what made you want to jump into this? Because I mean, it's a it's a wild it's wild. When I started doing it, I was like, man, this is tough. Like every
Yeah,
single video
yeah.
I've done.
Um, Man, it probably started off just like anybody else. Like you start to make. Well, first you get your own job, right? And then you have your own
Mhm.
money, and then your paycheck's going towards shoes, and then it starts off like, oh, I'm taking photos of shoes, videos of shoes, and I think it just gradually build it up from like photos of kicks on what I'm wearing today on my story,
Mhm.
to like fit pics maybe, to unboxings, and then like I think the appetite just kind of grows with it. So now I think the past few years, actually ever since like COVID, really people had more time on their hands,
Mhm.
and really started to like create content with sneakers. So it's like I was telling myself, like, what could I do to kind of like be a little different? Everyone's doing unboxings, get ready with me's, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I think I'm a pretty good like writer, and I always kind of had like a little passion for writing, or doing essays. Always kind of came easy for me in college. So
Mhm.
I think I'm just mixing the two, trying to tell a cool story or interesting story in like 30 seconds about
Mhm.
some kicks that people like.
Nah, yeah, I think that yeah, the way your content is definitely a lot of just like you ask the question to get a response, and I feel like you do get the people you get people talking in your comments, which I feel is always the hardest part of like about like engagement, like getting like actual organic engagement where you're having a conversation within about the video, but in the comments. And I think that's like you're I want to say your people. I don't know I don't know what you call your followers, but the G heads or something like that. But I think
And
that
it's
like
definitely hard though. That's
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
think.
yeah.
I mean, listen. Let's hard pivot right into the question, and the question that I ask everybody every week that jumps on this podcast, and that question is, "What's your first kicks? What's that first pair of sneakers you absolutely needed to have?"
Um. So there's a few answers I could give to this, but
Uh huh.
um, I remember 2013, 2014. I finally have like my own money, and for some reason I wanted and this was before like the Hirachi wave. This was like because the Hirachi wave did have a little wave a little after, but I wanted the OG Scream. I think it's called the colorway, the blue and green Hirachis. So
The blue and green Hirachis.
yeah, I think they're called like the Scream colorway or something. If you're looking them up, but
I'm looking them up right now. I know you're talking. Yeah, the Scream Green
the
colorway.
class, almost like the classic, like almost one of the first colorways they got.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I got like one of my first paychecks, hit the Montebello Mall over here, and picked up like a pair that those were like the ones I needed for some reason. I don't know why. People still ask me why, but that kind of started my love for like runners. I don't know why. I don't know why Hirachi. I still don't know why.
So I'm gonna give a little story behind the shoe for the listeners. After nearly a decade, the Nike Air Hirachis, original iteration of the Scream Green colorway, made its comeback in 2015. The legendary look layers up contrasting tones of black, white, royal blue, and Scream Green over its leather and neoprene construction. While later versions of the colorway cover the vamp in the signature green, the originals is dipped in white with Scream Green taking over the interior, heel strap, and midfoot underlays, not overlays, underlays. Yeah, look, I
Mhm.
mean, I love this shoe. I love the colorway of this shoe, but my favorite is definitely the original colorway, that blue and purple, because Jordan wore them in like a picture, and I was like, recently, I thought about that shoe recently. I posted on Twitter. I was just like, man, like it's one of those shoes where every time I see it, I'm always like, man, this is so like it's ingrained in your head because like it's just such a classic
Mhm.
colorway and shoe. I think Hirachis are great shoes regardless anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think it might have been like the bright colorway, and like the shoe just looks like at the time some like well they're based off jet skis, or sea-doos, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah.
So it has like that motion look to it, like it looks like they're in motion almost. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. It's got that they got that
first kick.
they got that Kawasaki vibe to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Sharp edges. It just looks kind of fast. I had to have them.
What was like? So, have you lived in California your entire life?
Yeah, pretty much here in the LA County area. LA's big, but in
Hmm.
LA County, pretty much my whole life.
What was high school like? Where like I know you said 2014 is when you kind
When
of
I
jumped
graduated,
into,
yeah.
yeah. So like
Um,
what was high school like? Like were you making waves? Were you the cool kid? What kind of person were you there?
um, I always played sports. I was a basketball dude. I was always hooping. Um, I will say like I didn't come from money or anything, so like I only got
Hmm.
like one like shoe for when school started, and then I had like my birthday shoe, which was always like a basketball shoe, and
Hmm.
then I might get a pair like before the summer, right? But at that time I was wearing like Chuck Taylors, which were big during that era. Like if you think back to like Wiz Khalifa,
Hmm.
cargo shorts, Chuck Taylors, like that whole snapback. That was kind of like my high school era. Um, Vans always kind of here in LA, Vans and Chuck Taylors are popular, and it's
Hmm.
cool because those two shoes like you could wear those back then at that time, and you could still be cool. And the shoes were like $30.
You're right. Yeah.
Nowadays, man, if I can't imagine having a kid and having to send him in some $200 Jordans so he don't get made fun of. My wallet would be broke, bro.
Imagine, oh my god, imagine now just being like, yeah, mom and dad, I want the Travis Scotts. Like everybody's bullying me. I don't have Travis Scotts. Like I'll
See
be
them on
like,
TikTok, mom. Everyone's getting them from this website. They're only $40.
they're only DH gate. Like,
Exactly. It's facts, though, man. Probably have to, man. I'm for sure, not probably. I'm sure kids are, it's a little different than now with TikTok and kind of
Hmm.
everything's a little more glamorized now. Where back then, at least for me, like I'm trying to think. Like for me, I found out about sneakers in that kind of way through like YouTube, probably like music videos, or if I'd
Hmm.
stumble on like an unboxing, or if there was a basketball shoe, I was watching basketball. But now kids could just kind of scroll and stumble upon, like some dunks or something.
No, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, it's so. I feel like content now is very like sneaker content specifically. Once you like one video that is a sneaker video, you're just getting flooded with other creators. But
Yeah.
the thing is like there's too many people telling other people what they should be wearing, right? So it's like once you start liking a sneaker content, it's always like, yeah, the reason why you should buy these
Yeah.
Jordan lows. Like I'm like, man, like
Yeah, I try my hardest not to like lead a video with that because it is kind of like I never try to be salesy. No one likes a salesy person anyways, but
Mhm.
I feel what you're saying.
The yeah, I mean like I don't know how, if you've been on TikTok like recently, but like have you ever seen those people pushing fakes, like pushing like the replicas on live?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, so me and my homie were talking about this, and
Uh-huh.
I didn't know, but he was actually telling me he stumbled upon like some like content creators accounts, and they actually get sponsored by these wholesale or replica brands. So they're over here
Mhm.
like they're running it like a whole business. They're giving free shoes to the TikTokers, and then they're making videos about these dunks that they could get for $40, and then
Mhm.
yeah, man, it's crazy. I mean, a lot of people feel a lot of ways on it, and I don't know how to feel, but I don't know. I don't know.
What was, I guess I want to say, like, what was the sneaker what was like LA sneaker culture to you, like growing up? Like what was like the people that you spoke to and taught you what you needed to know and stuff like that? What was it like?
Um, I think everything over here, or at least for me, like everything started with either sports or music.
Mhm.
And I'm just thinking back to like when I first kind of got introduced, right? And like LA artists at the time, Dom Kennedy, YG, Nipsey Hussle, you and I, Pac Div, a lot of blog era rap as well.
Yeah.
But that's what like first introduced me to kind of everything, and it was like the first time I seen rappers not rap about being in the streets and da da da, that kind of stuff. So it was like a cool
Mhm.
switch up. So once I kind of got put onto the music scene, then I'm on YouTube watching the music videos, and oh, okay, now I'm seeing brands in music videos. Oh, now I see a Karma Loop ad on YouTube. Oh, Karma Loop. Now I'm on Karma Loop. Oh, dude,
Right.
you know. And luckily, I didn't have a phone. I didn't have like a real phone till like, man, like high school, like mid high
Mhm.
school. But I did have like a desktop in our living room. So
Oh,
thankful for that.
you had the shared computer?
Yeah, I had this shared computer, and I was fighting for my younger brothers. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was able to kind of like dig around through there. Tumblr
Uh-huh.
was another like kind of website where it was introducing me to all the kind of all my interests now because it almost worked like how the explore pages work now. Tumblr at
Mhm.
the time, you have a certain interest and you repost it or you like that stuff, or I had hashtags. It kind of keeps feeding you that stuff. So when
Yeah.
I think of LA though, it's like are you familiar with Dom Kennedy?
Oh, yeah, I listened to Dom
Yeah,
Kennedy.
yeah, for sure, for sure. It's like picture like one of his music videos, right? It's
Uh-huh.
sunny. It's like a palm trees. You're driving by the
Uh.
water. You might get some like, you have some any kind of sneakers on really, but
Right.
that
It's
that
just a
that
vibe. It was just a
yeah,
vibe.
yeah, it's more than sneakers. It's almost just like everything that comes with having a cool shoes on your feet too.
Yeah. Were you ever like a Fairfax? Like, did you go to Fairfax at all?
I would say like I think I was in between eras of like the real, what kind of era it was? It was like Tyler the Creator
Yeah.
era where it wasn't like real OG like Bobby Hundreds and
Hmm.
real people that were kind of still there. But it was before what it is now. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on there now, but like
No, I don't. Enlighten me.
there's not
What's
even
going
a
on?
there's not even a Supreme store there now.
Right.
They moved it to Hollywood. Really, ever since all the riots happened since 2020, like it's kind of been cooked. No one really goes there,
Hmm.
and like if we're being real, bro, like Fairfax and Melrose, it's a destination point. It's like a tourist spot, right?
Hmm.
So the Jordan ones are $400 there compared to Goat for 300.
Right.
So I think people do go. It might be to go for the look or for the scene, or if you're going to cop Supreme or if you're copping some clothes. But for sneakers, there, at least for me, it's always just been hard because I know the sneaker game. I can find a shoe on eBay, on Grailed, on Goat, on
Hmm.
StockX, on OfferUp, and I'm gonna make sure I get the best price. So, but we would go there and spend some time up there, but nothing too crazy.
Did you ever like do a camp out there or like?
No, so it was right after like once I was really kind of going out there. Supreme introduced like a new system, like
Uh,
the ticketing system or the
yeah.
reservation where you could sign up online. Like honestly, that kind of helped me out because I was always in school or I was always working.
Hmm.
So like I was one of the ones I was kind of hyped about it. Where I might not be down to camp out like 2 or 3 days. I'm down to pull up there early on the day of though.
Right. Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same. What was your first job, and then to where you got like your real money that to buy
Um.
your Hirachis?
Yeah. My first job was at like a barbecue. It was a barbecue, like a barbecue fast food restaurant. It was called Dickie's Barbecue.
What? I've never heard of
Might be nationwide.
it.
I don't know, but I worked there for a summer,
Uh-huh.
and then once I got into college, after that, I had like a job on campus as like a DJ for the college radio station.
Oh, that's sick,
So that
bro.
was,
That's sick.
and man, that was one of my like favorite. It was like a student job, that you could get when you're enrolled, and they try to help
Yeah.
you out with money. So yeah, it was called K Poet Radio. Shout out K Poet Radio. But yeah, I was
You had
DJing.
your own time? You had your own time slot?
Yeah, I had my own time slot, so I had like, and some of the DJs, especially like the older ones, like I'm coming in as a freshman, so there's like some
Uh-huh.
seniors and juniors that kind of did it all 4 years. Um, and they would have like their 7 to 9 slot at night, and some like college kids would listen to it, or they had podcast slots on there. So a
Uh-huh.
lot of them were like, had all their slots filled up. So I always had like an 11 a.m. to like 1 p.m. slot where people were in
Uh-huh.
class, but it was my break in between classes, so it kind of worked out. I had my playlist on there. I'm doing homework in there. I'm vibing out.
That's
And
sick,
then,
dude.
yeah, so at the same time, I'm doing that, and then I'm coaching basketball too. The
Oh,
boys,
wow. That's sick, man.
yeah, two jobs. Cool.
What was it like coaching?
Man,
Are you a
I'm
coach now?
now I still like I'm still involved in the sports scene, and all of
Uh-huh.
my past jobs were involved in like athletics and stuff. But yeah, man, I love coaching. Like if I had more time, I'd for sure do it. I'm a basketball fan, man, and
Hmm.
um, I was never like the best on court. I was never the best on the court, but like the IQ is there. I'm like a point guard. Like I'm not gonna give you
Yeah.
like 25. I'll give you 10 points and like 10 assists, though. I'm kind of that was my role. I was like a captain slash point guard. Like you gonna get your
You're the
minutes
facilitator, bro.
exactly. We're a
Yeah.
dying breed out here, man. You see all the point guards in the NBA now got to drop 25. So I'm glad I caught the last era of that.
Dying breed is like, I mean, but yeah, I mean, now it's definitely like all the point guards really are just like, if you can't score and pass, then you got to go.
Yeah, you got to adapt. So now I
Yeah.
probably like if I could go back in time, I just would have worked on my three.
I mean, a three will definitely get you into the NBA. Like if you had IQ
Yeah.
and you could pass the ball and you just add a three, because then you just become like, okay, is he gonna dive and dish? He's gonna dive or dish, and then or it's like, okay, no, he got to step back three, and now you have to guard that too, and it's just like, yeah,
Are you a Knicks fan?
yeah, I'm a Knicks fan.
Okay. Good win. There's a good win today.
Which LA team are you?
I'm a Laker fan, man. The only
Ooh.
LA team. Only LA team.
What do you think about the whole Dylan
And
Dylan Brooks?
man, I know what he's doing. You know, I get it. I get what he's doing, but he's not that great to me.
I don't think he's even that good, but he does talk a lot of shit, and I like it. I rather see that, but like, yeah, I mean, he's him being like LeBron. LeBron's old, and then just like I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get head games and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's like this dude can put 40 on you easily.
He gave him 28. He's like, no, I'm not gonna respect him until he gives me 40. Hey, though, I'm not gonna lie. I do mess with. I mess with the Knicks. I mess with the Knicks fan base because I feel like the Lakers fan base and the Knicks fan base are like really similar.
You think so?
I
Is it
think
because like there's a lot of celebrities in both fan bases?
celebrities in both fan bases. That's one, right? Two, our fan bases are a little. They're known for being a little like not wild, but you know, like maybe ignorant or kind of
Hmm.
like real hardcore and kind of just like real tough. We have, it's a tough fan base. It's tough playing in New York or in LA. But then also, you guys got the Nets and we got the Clippers,
Right.
who have been
The
better
red.
throughout the past years, but
Right.
they're not really it.
The redheaded stepchild of the.
Like they
Of
could,
the
they could get as far as they want, and it still won't be like, it just doesn't hit the same.
so you don't think a Clippers parade would go crazy?
No, man. Look at bro. I was at the last Clipper game. So what I do, bro, is when the Clippers play the Lakers,
Yeah.
I buy the tickets when it's a Clippers home game
Hmm.
because it's cheaper.
Hmm.
So you go to those games, and those games are full with Laker fans, bro. It's tough out here to be a Clipper fan, I will say.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely because I'm a Mets fan. Obviously, I got the hat on, but um, I'm a Mets fan, and it's like that's what it feels like to like that team. It's a team that's known for losing, and then, but it's like if you're on the bandwagon or whatever, if you're and like you're just a diehard that when they finally get there, or if they ever get there, like they did in 2015, like
Don't
it
feel so.
was like yeah, like it's gonna go like it's like you reach the mountaintop, but like on the sideline, like it's I don't know. I can't explain it until you like are in that position because if you join if you're just grandfathered into a team that's always winning, that so you're just used to the idea of winning, right? But
Yeah,
like a team that is bad that becomes good, like
I
it's
feel
a different feeling, you know?
yeah, yeah. Started from the bottom, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The, since speaking of that, wasn't there a sneaker night at like a Clippers game, or was it a Lakers game?
Yeah, we do a few
Oh, okay.
sneaker nights. I think each team has one, maybe.
Hmm.
Um, that's funny that you brought that up. I used to work for the Sparks, the WNBA team,
Mm.
um, and I helped facilitate their sneakerhead night event with the WNBA.
What's that like? I need to know all the details of that.
Essentially, it's like think of it as like a premium package add-on, right? So let's say you're gonna
Hmm.
head to the game, you can buy a regular ticket, or you can buy a ticket that's $20 more. You enter the arena earlier, and the way we did it, we had like a panel of sneakerheads. So there was like a Nike executive. There's this dude Ray who I knew on Instagram, who's kind of like a sneaker influencer. Um,
Ray Polanco.
yeah, yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You familiar with him?
yeah. My boy is boys with him, and he's trying to get him on the podcast too. So yeah,
Oh yeah, that's my
yeah.
guy. That's my guy. That's my guy.
So
So
future
yeah,
guest, future
yeah,
guest.
Ray. Yeah, me and him were like, yeah, he's been cool, bro. He's another person I think I could credit for upcoming, my content when I first
Hmm.
started to where I'm at now, because he was like in my DMs, like I would actually ask him for advice, like, yo, what'd you think about this video? What'd you think about
Hmm.
this? And he actually told me, I don't know if he remembers, but he told me like, you should bring this up when you bring him up because it could be a good segue question. But
Uh,
he told me like, yeah, anyone could take a cool photo of shoes. and like I forgot what shoes it was, but he was like, yeah, anyone could take a cool photo of those shoes, but what's the story on them?
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
what kind of like opened my mind. Like, nah, this dude's right. Like, how am I gonna make myself different? Because everyone has the money to buy cool shoes, like, and everyone's
Hmm.
gonna post a picture and take a video of when they get them in hand. So yeah, shout out to future guest Ray.
That I mean, that's dope because like the idea of that's what I like to do. Base my content around it is like it's more of like, but did you know this aspect of the shoe that you think like that you have on hand and stuff like that, or like even like cool like releases like brands do and stuff like that that just gets forgotten. Because a lot of people don't know how not accessible sneakers were at one point. Like it wasn't like you just go to a store and get them. It was like you had to learn, you had to figure stuff out, and that there's no click and buy back then in like the early 2000s and stuff like that. So no, yeah, but back to Spark Sneakerhead Night. What
Yeah,
else? What
yeah,
else
yeah, yeah.
goes
So
on?
we came with a panel. Essentially there's a panel of people on there who could talk about sneakers. So that was themed to raise awareness in women in sports, but also women in like sneakers as well. Because it's a
Hmm.
WNBA, so that's kind of what we're pushing. So people who bought the $20 add-on ticket came in the game early, had access to the event. There was like some appetizers and food. There was like sneaker giveaways. Each attendee left with like a Jason Mark cleaning kit because they were another sponsor in there. Um,
Hmm.
and then I think it closed, and each of those people they had like a certain ticket in a certain. It was basically they got hooked up for the price they paid. They got like a better seat,
Yeah.
and they got to pull up early and hear some people talk about sneakers and basketball and women in sports.
Was it? Did you do like everybody sits in a row and everybody takes like puts their kicks on the court type of situation, or was it just like
No, yeah, it was just like actually we did have like a walk-in stand thing where people walked in and there was like a camera who got the kicks they were wearing when they
Mhm.
pulled up. But yeah.
That's sick, man. Like, what does it take to put something like that together? Do you think, and should there be more of that? Do you feel like that? Because I think I want to say that like be like real sneakerheads or whatever you want to call them, like sneakerheads. Uh, they're very gatekeepery of sneakers,
Mhm.
right? Instead of being more embracing of like let's build this shit bigger, like let's
Yeah.
make it easier for everybody. But I think like do you think doing more activities like that or like activations like that will like I guess break the stigma of like gatekeeping in the sneakerheads community?
I think that's like a really good question and like a lot of different points to it. But yeah, I think one events like this, especially events that are backed by Nike and the Sparks and sponsored like that, and also have like an intention to it. Like
Hmm.
for me, I would love to be a part of events that had like a purpose or like a reason or like a focus, because
Hmm.
if not, it's just gonna be a like, and there's nothing wrong with this a sneaker con, but people go there to buy, sell, and trade, right?
Right.
What I want to do or what I would love to be a part of is stuff that's like not above that. I don't want to say like it's better than that, but you know, like the storytelling, back to the storytelling, or back to like
Hmm.
a history in shoes, or enlightening female designers in shoes or creatives. So like definitely I think, but like my kind of second point to the question is, yeah, there should be more events and activations and partnerships and everything, but they just have to be done and executed the right way.
Right.
um,
Yeah.
which is hard because I don't even know but like what that technically means or how that could be done. I don't got all the answers, Sway, but I know like that's what it, or at least in my opinion, I think that's what it would take.
No. Yeah. And I mean like current day. Look, because the TikTok boom that happened in sneaker TikTok. where a lot of these people that just don't really know about sneakers just started talking about sneakers and then became the face of sneakers, right?
Yeah,
So
facts,
like,
man.
so like, what is it? What was it like when you're starting to come up and like you're doing your content and people are putting in all their likes and their following to somebody who just you feel like doesn't appreciate something that you're doing and you're appreciating.
Yeah, and before I say like my real answer, like I'm always the type to encourage people to create and to do
Hmm.
something. So like, I never want to discourage anybody, but like I think people thought I kind of blew up during this whole TikTok stuff when like I've been like at a steady. I've never had anything really go viral to be honest at all. Like everything's just
Hmm.
been like a steady climb from 1K to 3K, 6K, 9K. You know, and it's all been steady. So I'd be lying if I said I didn't like feel a type of way when I see someone do, someone blow up and then boom, they're on like the Nike sneaker app all of a sudden,
Right.
like I'll be lying if I said I didn't feel a type of way, um, but now like my mentality's a little different, and I try to be like head down, worry about what I'm doing. Cause man, even if like, let me back it up real quick. Everyone's kind of goal or their dream is to like inspire and impact and create a change, right? And in whatever kind of channel they want to do it in.
Hmm.
So like you can't neglect your 100 followers just because you don't have 5,000. You
Right.
can't neglect your 1,000 followers just because you don't have 50K. Like
Hmm.
impact. Like for me, I used to see it as like this big number and feel insecure and really like I would get upset about my followers not growing. And I used to think I should be above what I'm actually at.
Hmm.
But like you don't know if like one person watches my video and I inspire them in a way, and then they do something and they inspire someone in a way. Like it only takes one person, really. Like you
Right.
don't need a million followers to create impact. You need one one person with two ears that heard what you said.
Hmm.
So that's the kind of mentality I switched it to avoid that kind of salty or just jealousy. If I'm keeping it 100, like
I mean, envy. I think that's envy.
yeah, and
Yeah.
other creators, other influencers might not be honest like that, but it's human nature, bro. Like it's
Right.
competition. I'm a sports dude, so that starts on the court. Someone trying to take my minutes playing time, right?
Hmm.
Like there's always a competition or some sort of like you know feeling in you when things aren't going the right way and you feel like you should have something someone else has. So, but the knowledge and the history and the info is when it could come, is what I won't appreciate if, brands are reaching out to these kids, which is cool. I fuck with the youth. I
Hmm.
fuck with all that. But just make sure it matches. Like if you're going to do something new and trendy, yeah, these younger kids make sense for that campaign, for sure. But if you're going to need someone to tell a story or pull info or reminisce or something like, and really have to get in their bag about sneaker history, then okay, what are we doing here? There's so many dudes that have been doing this, but more than not even including myself. I'm talking about
Hmm.
people that really been in it.
No, yeah, it's definitely tough because, like, I mean, listen, I've been collecting since 2000 and I want to say like 6 or 7, and so like I've been in like in New York, like New York's Fairfax is Soho, so like Soho. I've been in Soho. I used to go to Soho every single day, and just like I was making the rounds, going to the stores and stuff like that. So I know a ton of the history and stuff like that. And then for me to jump into getting into content creating and then I see that and or like I mean I see these kids don't like the one thing the one thing I would like is like if kids are getting into this they do the research of like why we got to this point because and I mean like listen even in terms of music right I feel like a lot of kids don't do that regardless but it's like there's so much history you don't have to just put yourself in a little box because you think the current is what you should know now, right? You should just learn the whole thing and see, and it make you appreciate what you listen to now more, and you get to find out what else is there. And I think like I mean it's like when I always say that like Jordans are like the gateway drug to sneakers, right? Because Jordans, everybody's always wants a Jordans. I've never met somebody who's just like, it's like, nah, I've never wanted a Jordan. It's always like, I want that one Jordan.
At least
I never
one.
got it.
At
Yeah,
least one.
I just
Maybe
want, I
one
just
or
want, yeah. And then you get that one Jordan, and you're like, man, this feels great. And then you just start learning about there's others. You like, there's others, and then you start trying to, you'll be like, oh, I gotta get those. I gotta get those, and then you start realizing, oh snap, there's other models that you know that there's other crazy colorways too, and you just start deep diving, and you just become broke. But yeah, I just think like that the the appreciation for like what the culture is, what this culture is I think it gets lost on the internet now, right? And it's in like people like me, you, Ray, like people like Morgan. We're the ones that are always just like we're talking about it. We try to bring it to the forefront and push it into people's brains, but it's hard. Like I think like people don't understand that like it's okay to have a conversation about something you love, and it's okay to not understand something and then be taught like let's get into the I'm fine being wrong, just tell me why I'm wrong, like just we got to get into that more.
Yeah, being like going back and doing your research, like because let me back it up even more. Like
Mm-hmm.
we were those same people who kind of came up, right? The only difference is like I don't want to say I did my research, but like I was, I'm not going to speak on something I don't know, or
Mm-hmm.
talk about shoes I never had, or talk about a shoe that released when I wasn't into sneakers. But what you can do is do the research, or Google, like, bro, we have Google. Like, y'all kids, we have Google. Just Google it. Like that's where half of my info comes up on something that I don't know.
Right.
So it's like you got to be a student of the game first, because then that's when you kind of get your validation, or you at least get some respect from like the OGs or the people above you, because like, oh damn, this kid knows what he's talking about, and like he wasn't even doing this when it came out, so he must have did his homework. And for me, that's almost like a double salute. Like
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't about it, but he became about it in a in a cool way. Like if a kid came up to me talking about like I don't know, I'm trying to think of like the first Yeezy drop, and
Mm-hmm.
they were like in third grade, I'm like, oh damn, like yeah, like that kid did his homework, or that kid, Googled or found out somehow, or had an older brother and was put on game. And that's a lot cooler to me, like knowing someone is really about this shit to the point where they're gonna make sure they get put up on game, or like do their homework on certain stuff so they can be
Mm-hmm.
a part of the conversation.
Yeah, I think that's, but that's, I mean, that's just all part of the culture of just like we need to be more embracing of having those conversations, like it's a lot of the comments now that I've seen is more about like the whole rep stuff, and then you have like, but it's like, and I think it always stems from that of like people want these hype sneakers, but they don't really understand why they want it. They just know this cost a lot, this sold out immediately, and I don't have it, so I need to get it, and I have to get it. The only way I can get it is to pay some guy in China $150. So, like, how, what do you think? How do we combat that so that sneakers have more meaning to people that want just like nothing but high price stuff?
Yeah, man. What I say is like it doesn't matter about the price. Like, well, and I say that with like an asterisk, because we're the same. Like, I'm wearing like a Supreme shirt right now,
Mm-hmm.
as we speak. So I'm not saying I don't own any hype items, but when I first started, I was copping Hirachis, Air Max 90s, Jordan 1. Like, I wasn't copping anything crazy or anything like out of my realm. And like, I always knew how to get fly with what I can get fly with. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was playing with the cards I was dealt, and there's nothing wrong with that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, it's not about the hype shit, but it is. It's not about the off-white tag on your foot, but rest in peace, Bert. It's like, it's tough, man, because it's like we're the same ones that are contradictory to it. And it's like it's not gonna change, bro, because everyone wants nice shit. Everyone more than shoes. Everyone wants nice homes, nice cars,
Mm-hmm.
everything. Everyone's expectations and goals and dreams are so elevated now because of this social media stuff too. You know, we're exposed to a lot of um, other stuff. So I don't know, man. There's not an answer to that question, but at least what I'm trying to do is, put people on about you don't need XYZ to get fly. You don't need to drop
Mm-hmm.
$1,000 on a shoe to be a sneakerhead. You don't need to steal money out of your mom's purse if you're a kid out there trying to, buy shoes. It's like there's always a way to get it done. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
actually posted those two videos recently about sneakers I'd wear under $100 because
Right. Yeah.
buying replicas, you're still paying money. You're paying at least maybe $80 at the minimum, like
Mm-hmm.
$50. In LA, that's a pair of Vans, and no one's gonna clown Vans. No one's
Nobody.
gonna clown Chuck Taylors.
Mm-hmm.
No one's gonna clown $90, $100 Air Force Ones as long as they're clean. And you keep, clean the white ones. But
Yeah.
I say that to say there's no one's gonna clown a pro club. No one's gonna clown, the simple
Yeah.
stuff. 30 actually $50 for a fitted. Get yourself a fitted, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Get a simple white tee. Get some clean blue jeans or shorts or nothing too crazy. And then the little money you do have, that's when you invest in the feet. Get a pair of Vans, Chucks, Air Force Ones, and you're fly. You're clean. You know,
Yeah.
you're presentable. So it's like it doesn't have to be all the. You don't have to have Travis Scott, Virgil, and Kanye on you.
Yeah. I
Cool,
feel you. I feel you.
sure, it's cool, but you
Uh-huh.
know, I'm not out here with the Ferrari yet. You know.
We working our way up to it.
Yeah,
Work.
exactly.
Man, speaking of which, I was very curious of like what keeps you motivated in going.
Hmm. Damn, that's a good question.
I got you
Um,
stumped on that one.
yeah, because in regards to sneakers and content,
I mean, just in life in general. Like, I feel like you sound like a person who does a lot of things, right? So,
yeah,
like, the sneakers and the content is seems like the tip of the iceberg, but it more of out of passion, out of like, I'm doing this out of the love. I'm not getting paid for this, like, and I feel like that's the same thing you're doing this for. It's just like, I could spend hours and hours talking sneakers, right, and not get paid a dime for it, but I would still do it the next day. So like I get that, but what keeps you motivated and continuing, to progress more and get better at what you're doing?
um, the idea of having, I'm just gonna be honest because this is,
Mm-hmm.
people aren't gonna say this, but the idea of having a community following of like-minded people that enjoy what I have to provide.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the most generalized answer, at the top, but the idea of growing, the idea of being involved in sneakers one day, um, probably marketing because that is what my strong suit is, and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
using my voice and doing that stuff. Not the most creative, so I wouldn't really like design a shoe. I have my input and my vision on it, but I'm not like I can't draw and stuff. So,
You
um,
gonna pass up an opportunity to make a pair of Twogees,
I'll for sure.
the Air Twogees?
This is what I'd say. I could put a dope colorway on a Jordan 1. I might
Uh
not
huh.
be able to create a model like Kanye. I might be able to do my Travis Scott shit, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe not design something from scratch like a Jerry Lorenzo, or Pharrell or something like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but nah, man, the idea of having some like some support system and people with ears that appreciate what I have to say. I always felt like I was somebody that like was purpose like I was placed here to just give back and put on
Mm-hmm.
game, like really talk to the youth in a cool way, and like you know that whole thing. A lot of things inspire me though, but in general, it's just like I don't want to have any regrets either. Like I'm still
Mm-hmm.
young. I want to try anything that interests me right now. Like anything that interests me, I'm gonna go, or at least attempt it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm 45, 55, I don't want to look back like, damn, I could have done that. Or what if I started earlier? Or what if I tried that? Because you just don't know.
Right.
If I'm into sneakers, any shoe I can come up with a story with, I'm gonna tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
If I have some life lesson I just went through last week that I feel is relatable, I'm gonna get on my podcast and talk about it. Oh
Mm-hmm.
man, if I just found out that I could put this fly outfit together for $40, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna make a video and put other people on. Yeah, man, just stuff like that, man.
No, yeah. I mean, I think communication, community. Well, I was gonna make another C up. Communication, community, and
So these are my three C's actually. It's
oh, you have three C's.
I have three C's. So it's culture, connection,
uh,
um, oh, and what you said, communication.
communication,
Yeah,
culture.
culture,
What was it?
connection, communication. So
Nice. Yeah, I'm.
connection, yeah, connection and communication are a little similar, but communication is how you get things across someone, or words. Connections like you're building a bond with someone or with a community,
Mhm.
So
The I mean, you touched on it a little bit, and I totally misremembered. I had to look back at your page about your mental health podcast. I definitely wanted to hear more about it. Of like, you know, I don't know if you, I don't know if you grew up in a. Are your family like? Are your parents immigrants? Like they immigrated in?
not immigrants, but down our family line, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a Hispanic, coming from a Hispanic family, actually Native
Hmm.
American as well,
Oh
which
wow.
I found out a lot more recently, like 10 years ago. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I mean, you get similar story, single mom, three kids, low income, that whole kind of upbringing.
Hmm.
Um, and you learn a lot from that though, and you learn
Right.
a lot from the struggle, and you learn it's stuff that you can't get taught, So as I experience more in life, and when I reflect back to my upbringing, and I just reflect on my life situation, and then when I reflect on just how things panned out,
Hmm.
it's like, man, like I got something to say. Like I just always had that feeling, even if it's one person, like I said, that's listening, 5 people, I'll
Hmm.
take it, because really I'm doing it for you guys as well. But it's this feeling inside me that I got to kick game and really talk about it. But past few years have been rough.
Hmm.
Um, I think exactly a year ago from this time, I'm in a totally different mindset and a whole different
Hmm.
space that I didn't know what the end of the tunnel was gonna be.
Hmm.
So to be where I'm at now, and knowing like all the work that I did in the past is kind of almost shown now, and I could like reap the benefits. It's like, damn, bro, I feel like I felt blessed, and I just feel like I gotta share like what I've been through, So that's gonna just
Yeah.
be like a weekly episode of whatever's on my mind that I feel like
Hmm.
talk back, give people mental health stuff, motivation,
Hmm.
tips, what kind of helps me, because people kind of see me posting daily. I've been transparent about having a 9 to 5, been transparent about doing the kicking game,
Hmm.
transparent about my tabletop business that me and my fiance are doing. Um, in between brand collaborations, and then I have 2 podcasts with the other homies. So
Hmm.
people see everything going on. So it's like I must be doing something that's working for me to balance everything that I could share.
Yeah. I mean that, like I said, like I said, you definitely are doing a lot. So just like that not having the motivation to push yourself forward into those avenues, because like I mean, I'll go through it of just being like, man, I'm burnt out from my regular job. I can't do the extra stuff on top. Like this podcast will always be the thing that gets done, right? So like, but like the other stuff is like, figuring out how to make content. Like I don't want to like. There's moments in my life where I just like, man, I just kind of want to just turn my brain off, So
Yeah. So like, um, So I was doing kicking game episodes and I was doing sneaker content
Hmm.
before 2020 for a little bit. And then 2020, 2021, me and my fiance moved into a new, we were able to purchase a condo. We moved in, and I wasn't creating as much as I wanted to, and I was just really busy.
Hmm.
And I had like creator's block. So I wasn't really doing anything for months. And I had the worst feeling. Like every day I was waking up in a bad mood. I was depressed. I had anxiety. I was angry. I had personal stuff going on. Like, money stuff going, like everything going on, right?
Hmm.
And I just remember how I felt at the time of not doing anything and all that feeling of regret that I had, to where now I look at it more as like I'm able to do this now, and it's like I'm able to do it. And for me, the kind of trick that I use is I can stay up and edit this video, or I can not get it done, not post tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna be in a bad mood because I didn't post today, and I broke
Hmm.
my streak of consecutive posts. And like, it sounds corny or it kind of sounds funny, but like little things like that is what keep me going. It's like literally just a day-to-day battle. Like
Yeah.
before I used to look long term or used to do all that stuff, but it's like day to day. Let me figure out how to just handle today, you know?
Hmm.
And tomorrow comes, I'll worry about tomorrow. But
No, yeah. I mean, that's tough because a lot of people only like. I mean, I have a ton of friends that are just like they think they future cast too much, where they're just like, oh, I gotta, if I don't do this, do this, do this, and then they become
yeah,
overwhelmed about like not getting to because not getting to the where they want to be and whatever a lot of time that they gave themselves, like it's a
exactly.
it's a it's a tough uphill battle to like understand that like you're gonna get there if you just put in the effort. You're gonna get there. Don't think that you need to put in all the effort right now. It
You'll
could
get
just be
somewhere.
yeah.
You'll get
Yeah.
somewhere. Like
Yeah.
the way I tell my homies is like, do you want to create something and try right now for 10 years, or do you want to wait 10 years and then try? Like,
Hmm.
and then maybe it's like not even if you try. Like if if I'm starting my business and I have my podcast and I'm doing all this and nothing comes from it when I'm 45 years old, okay, well, either way, I was going to be 45 years old anyways. At least I gave it.
Right.
Either
Hmm.
way, we're going to live to some age. It's either try to do the stuff that you want to do and want to accomplish, or don't. Either way, the time's going to go by the same way. So, like, now my mentality is, like I said earlier, anything that I have an interest in, I'm going to attempt, because regrets a bitch. I'm sorry if I'm cussing, but
No,
regrets,
you're good.
you
You can
know,
curse on this podcast. It's good.
and that feeling, talk to any OGs or talk to any older people, and they'll tell you the same. Like
Hmm.
regret, you don't want to have regret, man. It's corny, it's cliche. People can say whatever, but um, I don't want regret. So while I'm young and while I have the energy and while I have the passion that I still have, I'm gonna give it all, because it takes one video nowadays. It takes one collaboration. It takes one thing for something to pop.
Right.
Might not be a
Just that.
millionaire with a million followers, but
Hmm.
you get a nice little check and you could gain 5,000 more followers.
Right.
All
Yeah.
things add up, bro. Like, you don't have to. Your dreams and goals don't have to be to the moon, or they can be, but you can still get to the sky or the clouds.
No. Yeah.
You know?
I I recently was like just venting on Twitter. I mean, nobody looked at it, but I I was talking about the idea of betting on yourself because like I was just wanted to just express that like out of all my corporate jobs and moving up the corporate ladder and stuff like that, it takes you out of actually wanting to like try something because I feel like it's like it creates a safety net of like, oh, I have the job, I just got to do my job well, and like that's it. And then you don't take those bets on yourself. You don't be like, oh, I have this idea. I just like why I've always just expressing just like like it's so easy to fall back into being like, yeah, I'm just not gonna do this because like at several months, I'm pretty sure you felt this way of like you would post the videos, they don't do as well as you thought, and I'm like, I mean, I might as well just stop right now, right? Like,
Oh, exactly, man. And that happens
yeah.
to everybody too. In any way,
Hmm.
like everyone faces that kind of that experience. But man, like I can only speak of myself, bro, and I want to try. I know where I've came from, and I know how it can be. And my mom always told me I could be anything I want, and I could
Hmm.
try to be anything I want. So I'm trying to be anything I want. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
what it is.
All right, so Reggie, now we're jumping up to the well, jumping up. We're going down to the end of the podcast, and so I want you to remember the time that you were going to go get those Hirachis, right? You're going
Oh
to go
yeah.
get those Hirachis. It's 2014, right? Now you're you behind yourself before you open that box. What would you tell yourself before you open that box?
Man, I remember that day. I remember all of it. I would tell myself to enjoy this feeling. Probably. I picked
Mm-hmm.
up a shoe at the mall, nearby mall. Didn't hesitate. It was a shoe I wanted, shoe I loved. Opened it up, threw them on. Probably wore them for like 3 weeks straight. Yeah, enjoy this feeling, young man. young.
Young OG in the making right there. Oh man, yo, thank you again, Reggie, for jumping on, and for everybody out there. You know what we see every week. Wear your kicks.
Mhm.
Peace.